Representative, it's good to see you this morning.
Good to see you, Teresa.
We have a lot that we want to cover with you, and I will, of course, focus a lot of this interview on the state takeover of Fort Worth ISD, but I do just want to start with what I think is on a lot of people's minds right now. As we talk, the government is shut down, SNAP benefits are in jeopardy, healthcare premiums are going up. I'm sure you're hearing from constituents who are saying that life in Texas is hard to afford right now. Are you concerned about the state of things in Texas?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is kind of a shame that we have to talk about something so important, which is families and parents' education on top of everything else that we're facing. I mean, when you think about it, Fort Worth ISD has so many kids that are already in situations where they have food insecurity and probably live in homes that are struggling. And, this is a really scary time for not just Fort Worthians, but for people all over our country. It's a time that, it really requires unity. And unfortunately, right now, the partisanship that exists all over our country, in Austin, on city councils, and in Washington, D.C., is greater than ever in my entire lifetime that I can recall. And we need leadership right now, Teresa. We really do. And we need to put families first. And in this case, what we're talking about in Fort Worth ISD is what are we doing in Fort Worth to put children and their futures first?
Well, let's talk about that state takeover. Do you support what TEA has done?
No, I think that, that decision's already been made. So right now the job is how are we going to support the families? How are we going to support the children? I am not happy that Karen Molinar was not able to continue the momentum that she was doing with the support of the Board of Trustees under the leadership of Roxanne Martinez and others who had just joined the board. And I believe for the first time in a long time, we're on board. But at the same time, I'm so apologetic to the parents that's children, whether it's this generation or those that have already graduated or in high school, that Fort Worth ISD has failed. There's far too many children that are not reaching reading level when they get to high school. My brother is a high school teacher and coach here at Poly High School, whereas my alma mater, that I still live in the Poly neighborhood, William James Middle School, which is the feeder school into Poly High School, is where Commissioner Morath came. And I'm disappointed because I can see it right here in my own neighborhood. I don't have to go far. And families have been concerned for a long time. So I hope that whatever happens, the decision's been made, that we can unite, that this is over quickly, and whatever change needs to happen is positive, and we can get back to the norms, which is important to me as an elected official, that the people choose who actually represents them on the school board and how we go forward.
I've heard from several people who say local control matters, but you just mentioned it. There have been failing grades for the district. So was local control not working? Was there another option besides state intervention?
I think there's been a lot of pressure on teachers for a long time with the STAR test. And teaching in Texas after the pandemic has changed. We have lots of things that we're really just not fully hitting our mark. And that's what I mean. I think Karen Molinar knew that. The teacher parent portal had very low, precipitation. I'm sorry, I'm talking about the weather here. Participation. And because we had low participation with parents engaging in school, she was making that change. She was making it more available. We're not sending out mail anymore. We're going online. A lot of parents just aren't comfortable with it. Same way their children weren't comfortable with it during the pandemic. So the needs are not simply just academic and reaching STAR. It's how do we get more parents involved? So there is a lot that needs to happen in Fort Worth ISD. And again, I'm going to continue to stress this, Teresa. Look, Morath and I had a long discussion. He knows that I don't feel like one campus in a district as large as Fort Worth ISD with, close to 80,000 students, 70,000 students, one school failing doesn't really indicate the entire district. There's so many bright spots around the district. Schools that are A-rated, some of those are being closed. Some of those parents are going to suffer and struggle, and good teachers are going to leave. That is a struggle that I have. I've made that very clear to Commissioner Morath that I expect nothing but the best from him. And now because he's an official with a state, maybe I have a little bit more impact, and so do other legislative members in the House and Senate. And it's going to be on us now to listen to our parents where before they were able to speak to their trustees. So while the elected officials may not be the trustee, they still have us. They have myself. They have Nicole Collier. They have Chris Turner. They have Charlie Guerin. They have a lot of representatives that can speak directly to Morath. And I pray, and again, I'm apologetic to the parents of Fort Worth ISD that they're having to face this, but I think that all hands are on deck now. And if I know Roxanne Martinez, she's not going anywhere. If I know Anael Luevanos, he's not going anywhere. He's still going to continue to work with parents, listen to parents, and convey that to whomever necessary.
You've mentioned Dr. Karen Molinar, the superintendent there. Mike Morath has said that Dr. Molinar will be given a chance to apply for the superintendent position. Do you hope she gets it?
I think she has tremendous respect from the educators, and that relationship between superintendent, administrators, and teachers, more importantly, is the quality that whomever gets this job must have. And when we already have someone like Karen Molinar, who's proven it, that she's 30 years Fort Worth ISD, she's going to be hard to beat. So yes, I really hope that Commissioner Morath doesn't just look at her, but takes her as serious or more serious than any other candidate that applies for the job.
Let's talk about the board of managers that will be appointed. What do you think about that process, and who would you like to see on that?
You know, I think that there's been people that have been very involved, even including other educators that might have firsthand experience to where some of the potholes are in the education system. But I'd also like to see folks, a majority needs to be from Fort Worth ISD. They need to be residents. That doesn't mean that everyone. Is there a thought leader in education in 2025 and 2026 moving forward, that whether it be on a national level or a statewide level, that can bring the type of input and energy and drive to Fort Worth ISD? If that person's out there and wants to be on this board of managers, I would welcome that sort of input into Fort Worth ISD board of managers, because I think that that's the kind of leadership, new vision, that whenever you take over a business or whenever you take over a sports team, sometimes that's what you need. You need that full energy. And I say that person wouldn't take this job unless they have a love for education, love for children, and an understanding about what it's going to take in the upcoming future. Our world is changing. Our education system must change along with the times that we have. So I don't necessarily have any one particular person that I'm pushing for. I have put the word out to folks that I know that care about Fort Worth ISD, or those that have called me, and I've said, you care enough to call me? Submit your name. Go do it. Just like running for office, except this, you don't have to deal with the voters. You're going to have to deal with Commissioner Morath. So I hope that the best of the best that care the most for Fort Worth kids are going to be who puts their name forward.
Some of your colleagues have pointed the fingers at the state and said, we have not fully funded schools the proper way, and that's what led to this. Do you agree with that?
There is no question that our teachers need more resources. Teresa, one of the things that we do here as a state representative in District 90 is we adopt a teacher. We adopt a coach. We adopt a team. And we say, what do you need? And you know what? The list is so long, and it shouldn't be that way for our kids trying to participate in extracurricular activities, trying to make sure that they stay busy, or kids that are participating in robotics programs, or Poly High School's ROTC program not having rappelling equipment, and that's part of their competition, for God's sakes. The needs are great, and folks just sometimes don't listen. They need outside help. They need community help. So yes, we've grossly underfunded schools. We should not be at the very bottom of per pupil funding. And then now we know, now there's private schools, more money is going to be taken from our areas. Even Forest Hill, the school in question here, there's charter schools all around it. So many of the good kids left because they saw a new shiny school. Some of the best kids in that school left for the new shiny school. Is that one of the reasons why it failed? So there's a lot that's untold. I will say this again, as a legislator, we have failed in achieving more funds for our teachers, more funds for individual schools, more funds for more revolutionary teaching methods, more support for extracurricular activities. We have failed as a state. And we have failed taxpayers because they are paying their hard-earned money for a quality education, and they have not gotten it. Those dollars should have returned back to our schools, back to the classrooms, and supporting our teachers through teacher pay raises that they deserve. And too many teachers leave the profession because they don't feel loved, they don't feel respected, they don't feel as though they are rewarded. And something like a takeover, sadly, we saw it in Houston, teachers are going to leave. They're probably going to go to those private schools that now have more money. So, we've started, the wheel is turning, the snowball is going down. It's going to take all of Fort Worth, whether it's the business community, the religious community, individuals, teachers, parents. It's going to take every single one of us to make sure that this thing turns around. And Fort Worth should never be at the bottom of student learning. We hope that the test scores in the future change. I have under the opinion that we need to get rid of the STAR test, a test that is not such high-stakes testing. But I also understand that those people that are living on the streets and that are homeless, the vast majority of them are illiterate. So anytime I think about a third grader that couldn't read, or a ninth grader that goes to Poly High School and can't read, I think about the probability of them not having the future they deserve. That has to change. And we're at that place, we're at that doorstep. We need to walk through it with the best people that we have at hand in this state and in this city.
Representative, we'll leave it there. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Teresa.